Welcome to episode 1 of the Insurance Industry Insights podcast. Hannah Kershaw of D&G discusses the impact of appliance data on improving their customers' experience.
Thank you very much for joining us. We have Hannah Kershaw, who's the Chief Product Officer of Domestic and General, and Jeremy Owenson, Insurance Solutions Director at Luxoft. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely. So let's kick things off. Innovation, vision, other buzzwords that are thrown around. You're working in both these fields. Maybe, Hannah, if I could start with you as Chief Product Officer, what's on your to-do list for the next 5 years?
Oh gosh, all of those buzzwords: innovation, vision, transformation. No, in all seriousness, so at D&G, we are going through a transformation. We're a 100-year-old insurance company with huge ambitions that's always been evolving and continues to evolve. So we're kind of transforming at all levels, like the sort of underlying infrastructure, all going to the cloud. And we are changing the rest of our kind of target architecture into microservices, components, using cloud services so that we can be super flexible in building customer journeys, which is where I come in. And what I'm doing is essentially digitizing the way that we interact with our customers, creating data-driven journeys with a sprinkling of AI, hopefully.
Excellent. Jeremy?
I'm working for Luxoft on the basis that I'm trying to help exploit those technologies. I've been in the insurance sector now for 30 years, and I was originally put into data and analytics because I could type. And I learned to type on a typewriter, which shows how long I've been in the sector. So I've been looking at data and how you can use data to drive decisions and how you can start digitizing things for a long time. And what really has impressed me recently is how that started to really take off from two perspectives. Taking off from a data and AI perspective, so the ability to deploy machine learning to start driving better decisions and to start driving better outcomes for customers has really taken off in the last sort of 4 or 5 years. But then from a digital experience perspective, I can't buy an application now without getting an app associated with it. And the technology, who would have thought that a washing machine was going to ring you up and tell you that it's finished? That's incredible. My mum had an old twin tub, which it told me when it was finished when she started crying at the strain of stirring the washing in the top of the twin tub. So technology has improved so much. The digital world is so advanced. It's just great, exciting time to be involved with it.
Excellent. Well, I suppose the Internet of Things, IoT, is a buzz phrase at the moment as well. And with 22 million devices out there that D&G can connect to and repair, what does that look like for you? Currently,
it hasn't changed much in the way that we sort of carry out our service to our customers. What we have seen is a growth in smart appliances. We register millions of appliances every year, and we take those registrations from all different channels, one of which being when somebody downloads their smart app for their smart machine, call it a smart washing machine. So we can see the growth of those smart appliances. In the US currently, it's about 10% of our registrations are from smart appliances. And that's growing. It's grown loads recently. It's going to continue to grow. So I don't think we're at that kind of inflection point yet of Internet of Things, where it sort of changes the way that we deliver our service. But I'm sure on a future horizon it will.
Those applications that control those appliances, is that somewhere that you could see developing a D&G proposition for going forward?
Potentially. So that the way that we distribute and the way that we have connections with customers is pretty much mostly B2B2C. So we work with manufacturers, retailers, other partners to deliver service for them on behalf of them. And so when a customer buys, say, a Whirlpool washing machine, they'll download the Whirlpool app for that. And I think that's how it will continue to stay at the moment. Now, in the future, do you want 10 apps for all of your 10 appliances or whatever it might be in the home? So we already have integrations into all of these manufacturers, all the retailers as well. We're sort of like kind of at the center of this ecosystem between the customer, manufacturers, retailers. So there is an opportunity for us to get more data points, and we're constantly evolving those integrations because it helps us deliver our service. We're better at a repair if we know more about what's broken.
It's interesting because I heard a story once about London Tube. And the London Tube is now all automated, and it has cameras on the platforms that basically count the number of people on the platform. And if it starts to get too busy, then it automatically starts slowing down the escalator to mean that people can't get to the platform as quickly. And if that doesn't work, then it starts shutting the gates off at the top, and it stops enough people getting through to get onto the escalator. The problem is that the people who man the gates don't understand why the computer's switching the gates off and then manually open them and end up causing chaos on the platform. So I'm just interested to see how those Internet of Things can start telling you if things are going wrong, or even getting to the position where you could possibly get a repairer out before the piece is actually broken down.
Yeah. So I guess what you're talking about is like predictive repair or maintenance, certainly, and that's kind of the holy grail, I suppose. And especially in our position at D&G, if we could do that for multiple devices, kind of at once, then I think absolutely, I can see an amazing product there.
So, your repairers, are they D&G people or do you use third parties?
We don't employ any engineers directly. We work primarily with the manufacturers, but we also have built the largest repair network in the UK through kind of independents, places where our manufacturers might not be able to get to. A lot of our manufacturers prefer to be the one to go and repair the thing, which also benefits the customer and benefits us, because we want our goal is to repair everything first time. And if you are a Bosch engineer, and you have that Bosch kind of computer to go and plug into the Bosch machine, then you're more likely to be able to repair that Bosch on the first visit, have all the Bosch parts on your van. So that's certainly our preferred route. But either as backup capacity, or there are manufacturers out there that we don't have that relationship with. We don't have as repair partners. So we have this big network as well.
That's awesome. In a recent interview with Gail Terry, your CMO for North America, she described D&G as a sort of glue between manufacturer and client. It sounds exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have customers buy at point of sale through, say, a retailer, or sometimes directly through the manufacturer. So point of sale, post point of sale, registration, repair, these are all kind of like touch points where we talk to customers about the things in their home, and we can see all of that activity across the whole industry. So yeah.
Can you imagine a future scenario where a D&G engineer can call up the service life of the same range of, say, tumble dryers and advise the customer that with a larger load or better energy efficiency, faster drying times, or low ambient noise, they will be better to replace than repair them, or vice versa?
Well, whether it's the washing machine telling you it needs to be replaced, or D&G understanding that that's the best thing that needs to happen now, then yeah, absolutely, I can imagine a time like that. We believe that what we do is good for the environment. We have a repair first ethos. We're saving appliances from landfill. And we want to have some of these statements that we can really stand behind. So we're doing a lot of work at the moment to basically put some numbers behind that, behind kind of repair versus replace. And then we can start to, really encourage customers to do the right thing and make the right choices.
You must have the biggest database of appliance faults and data of anyone, really, because it's cross-company as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're better than Which at saying which is a better brand and how long does it last?
Well, do you know what? When I first joined the company, I was like, we could do a way better rating system. Now, we rely on our partnerships with our manufacturers, I think kind of pitting them against each other publicly is maybe not the best thing to do. But what we certainly can do is help them to benchmark against their peers. So sustainability is one thing that is at the top of everyone's agenda at the moment. These are global companies. There's regulation coming in, like mainly in Europe, but that sort of affects how they manufacture everything globally. I think us being able to give them insight on how their appliances are performing, what breaks, how often, and how that compares to their peers, I think that's going to be hugely valuable for them.
Do you think that might affect your risk underwriting models? Because as they become more granular as a result of the data, could we see a scenario where a large family with a heavy use of one washing machine or a tumble dryer pays more than a single person using their machine far less?
Well, we price based on the age of the appliance, basically, and how much it would cost to replace it. So if you've got something really old, say a really old Smeg fridge, you're probably going to get a higher price than you would if you had a 1-year-old Beko cooker, for example. And that's fairly how we price. Consumer duty ensures that we do offer fair value, and we actually have a really, we look at a very sort of in-depth level at the different segments of customers to make sure that everybody is getting fair value from what they're paying.
Excellent. And you mentioned ESG earlier. That's a really strong point for most people these days. So we were wondering, how do you measure your ESG score? Is that in terms of extending the life of appliances?
Well, I'd love to be able to sort of quote some numbers at you, but it's a massive program of work that's going on in the business at the moment. We genuinely believe that what we do is good for the environment, also for communities. We do a lot to support the repair technician engineering kind of trade because of the scale that we have. And we'd love to encourage more people into that as well. So kind of, from a social perspective, from an environmental perspective. And that's something which really, really matters to our employees as well. I'm seeing it more and more that people are coming to work for us because we have a sort of, an environmentally friendly kind of outlook. And people want to do good in the world. I have one of my product designers joined us a few months ago, and he works I don't think he even works. I think he volunteers part-time in a repair shop, and it's something which he really, really cares about. So he's come to work for D&G, which is fantastic. And so I think the more of that message that we can get out, the more sticky our employees and our customers, and the more we can stand behind that message.
So with the repairer network, do you use, is that driven by ESG principles? For example, trying to make sure that you cut down on journey times, things like that. Is there any AI involved in that?
Yeah, I mean, a massive initiative of ours at the moment is something which we call soft fix. Don't know if that means anything outside of the business, but it's, essentially helping remote diagnosis. So it's stopping trucks from rolling on the road, which means fewer emissions, because actually you kind of in our kind of extended value chain, that's probably where the most emissions that we emit as a business are, by actually driving to people's homes.
That's really interesting. So is that doing stuff remote through a portal or an app or something? Yeah.
So that's our agents. And something which we will soon as well have available to self-service to customers to be able to help diagnose a fault themselves before we go and send an engineer.
That triage is brilliant. I had this recently with my boiler. I needed to repressurize it. And anyone who's repressurized a boiler knows how easy that is. I didn't, so I couldn't do it. Had one conversation with a plumber and they said, you just turn that. And it was an honest plumber who didn't want to charge the £75 call-out fee and was busy. So it really makes a difference and can save a lot of work.
Yeah, well, being busy is a great point. there's capacity. There's a certain amount of capacity in the network. There's a certain amount of things that we can go out and fix, and the more things we have on the list to fix, the longer people have to wait. So it helps everybody really. The person doesn't have to sit at home waiting for an engineer to turn up, and they get their problem resolved much more quickly. I mean, obviously, there's only certain things that we would encourage somebody to try and fix themselves, turning it on. And there's some simple kind of heating ones around frozen pipes and stuff. We would never, if it was something that needed more intervention, we'd never encourage a customer to do it themselves. But for those really simple ones, then it just saves everybody time and hassle, really. And this is where we've started to leverage AI as well, because if you imagine huge amounts of content across every appliance that's out there, all these different manuals telling you what all the fault codes are. It's going to take a person a lot longer to look that up than it will take generative AI, basically.
On the D&G website today, there's a useful section on things you can do to make your appliances last longer. So in the years to come, will we see preventative maintenance such as descaling, frost protection, overloading, energy wastage, ground leakage, and overpressure in closed-loop plumbing systems being reported and advised by D&G or the manufacturer, or a combination depending on the age of the device?
We are always kind of communicating with our customers to tell them things that could possibly go wrong, specifically, particularly at this kind of time of year. I already mentioned frozen pipes, and there's plenty of other things that could go wrong. Reminding people to look after the things that they rely on. That communication is personalised, it's targeted, it's timely, but again, I think in the future this is a real use case for AI, where we can just get super specific around messaging to people around what they can do about the things in their home.
Just out of interest, so your customer demographic, is that increasingly aligning to digital journeys? Historically, I always thought that you got your warranty as a leaflet in your washing machine when it was delivered, and you sent it off, you posted it off. Whereas we said earlier, it's all apps now. Is it a particular demographic, or are shall I say, older people also embracing digital journeys?
Well, in terms of our customer base, it's very much aligned to what the general population looks like, and that's probably because of how big we are as a business. There is a bit of a demographic difference on how people interact with us, or how they say they prefer to interact with us. But I think personally, I didn't know D&G before COVID, but I think COVID kind of transformed the way that everybody interacts with companies now. So I don't think there's a sort of demographic kind of barrier, I suppose. And we do, we want people to contact us in the way that they want to. So whatever's easiest for them, if that means that someone's really worried about a thing in their home and they just want to talk to somebody about it, then absolutely fine, they can do that. If you're a person who's, super busy on your way to work on the train and you just want to fill in a form or whatever it might be, then you can do that as well. So I think it's about giving people choice.
So tell me about how you like customers to get in touch with you, and how, as a retail consumer, we can get in touch with the brand.
Well, you can buy things from us directly. So you can go to the website and you can kind of get a simple and easy quote that way. Or at the point that you're buying a machine, if you're buying from Argos, AO, if you're buying a PlayStation from Game, any of those places, and if you take out warranty at the point of sale, that will all be provided by us. John Lewis as well. So yeah, there are plenty of places that you can sign up.
Do you treat each purchase as a separate customer record, though, or do you join those customers together?
We join them together, and you get a D&G plan, whether you buy from a manufacturer or retailer, so you can log into your D&G account and see them all there together.
That's good, because one of the challenges the insurers have had in the past is where you've bought multiple products, you might have a slightly different name, and then they can never reconcile them online. Somebody's Jeff and then somebody else is Jeffrey, and that's where we'd used AI to do that fuzzy logic matching.
Yeah.
But if I was just concerned if somebody's buying something from John Lewis and something from AO and something else from somewhere else, and I buy 3 products, I'm assuming you've got the technology to pull those into one and say,
Yeah.
are you the same Joe Bloggs that bought the Whirlpool from John Lewis last week?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, so we do data matching kind of behind the scenes.
It must give you some pretty good customer insights.
Yeah.
Are you looking at new product things that you could sell into? I'm just interested from a marketing perspective.
Yeah, well, like I said, it feels like the opportunity is endless, and something which we haven't explored enough is our data services to our partners, our clients.
So I was listening to a speech by a Finnish bank a couple of weeks back, and they produced an app that when you go and buy a car privately, it's the person selling the car is nervous that they're going to get a check that's going to bounce, and the person buying the car is nervous that the person selling it doesn't have full title. So this bank realised that if the person uploads their title to the banking app, which both people trust, and the other person uploads the money to the banking app that both trust, then you can have a mutually trustworthy transaction, whether the car's in a car park or on a back street or wherever. And I said, so why do you do that? Because, you're just facilitating a transaction. He said, well, it's because I can sell car insurance at the same time, and I can sell loan on the same time, and I can sell car warranty at the same time. And he said, that's why I'm doing it, to sell all these other products. I don't make money on that individual transaction, but the marketing opportunity is vast. Yeah. And I suspect you're probably in the same sort of space on household goods, really.
Yeah. I mean, our product is very different from, we have a different relationship to our customers than general insurers, because we think of ourselves as a service. So we expect people and want people to use that service. So it's very high touch. We have customers for a long period of time, and over that time, and we have a monthly subscription, which kind of renews every month. So it's kind of like low cost, long-term relationship. And people subscribe more and more appliances over that time. It's just under 2, kind of average, but you've got some people in there who might have, say, 15 things covered.
I suppose an open-ended question would be, what's your vision for the future? If you could wave a magic wand and take your business anywhere over the next 5 years, where would you like to take it? And I'll ask that to Hannah first and then hand over to Jeremy.
For our clients and our partners, we've already talked about kind of the endless possibilities around data products, ways that we can help them improve their businesses and become core to how they benchmark themselves against their peers in the industry. And there's a huge amount of potential there. And I think we just kind of not even tapping at the surface of that yet. And then for customers, it is this predictive maintenance, diagnostics, helping people basically do the thing that we are trying to help people do, which is keeping their worlds running. We don't want to get to the point of repair. We want to stop a repair before it happens. And then if it does happen, help somebody get their thing up and running as quickly as possible and help them replace it if not. So it's that kind of constant peace of mind that people have from the product that we offer.
Lovely, thank you. And Jeremy?
So I'm constantly amazed at the innovation that's happening, in D&G's circumstances, in their organisation and in their partners, the brown and white goods suppliers. I heard an insurance company say recently that they were kind of going to wait and see on AI and wait and see which way it was going to go. And I think my take on it is there isn't time to sit back and wait and see. The world is changing so quickly. You need to be thinking about it now, and you need to be experimenting with it now. And it sounds like D&G have gone a long way to doing that. They're wanting to be there when the world changes, anticipating it and driving it rather than reacting to it. And I suspect that's why you've got such a long pedigree of providing the service in the warranty space. So well done.
Fantastic. On that note, well done both of you. Thank you so much.
To hear other insurance companies discuss their own insights and innovations, you can find the full series available at insuranceindustyinsights.com. We're also available on the major social media platforms, with links available for easy free subscription and notifications.